Good morning, everyone. I'm Austin Daigle from the River Valley Weather Team. We got severe thunderstorm warnings pushing through right now. This is actually about to push through the Fort Smith area. The winds on this are actually showing up to near 65 to 70 miles an hour. I gotta post some of this stuff to our Facebook page real quick. Okay, now we got that posted. All right, let's get back to Viper right here. So this is going to be moving through Spyro. Okay. So this is moving towards Portsmouth right now. This is actually located in Spyro. The winds on this are showing up to, there's pockets of this, 60 miles an hour. What I'm worried right now is this core winds has been shooting from west to east, and it is just trucking towards Fort Smith right now. 60 to 65 miles per hour, and that could cause some damaging effects. Let's see. Yeah, it's just trucking. Yeah, it's just right in that core wind. So, kind of wondering if the core winds is gonna hit the city before the rain does, because that core winds was actually located in the storm first, and now it's just shooting out into this cell right here, located near over Spyro, Fort Coffee, and Gans. This is moving along I-40 and Highway 64. This is about to push through Muldrow. So, and the strongest core winds is just moving through southern Sequoia County right now, moving towards Arcoma and Fort Smith. This is moving directly towards the airport as well. So we definitely need to keep an eye on this for sure. Let's see here. Let's see, mainly. Okay, so down here near Panama, this is on Highway 59, South Highway 31, and 271. So Spyro, Panama, these areas out here, we're watching for quarter size hail. So that's moving towards Fort Smith as well. So if you live on the south side of Fort Smith, so near Bacola, near the casino, Arcoma, down here near exit 14. Here's exit 13, 12. That's 71. So this area near Rye Hill, um, Riley Farms and Rye Hill just need to take caution. We've got some large hail about to be moving through in the next 20 to minutes or so. Very heavy rain moving towards Fort Smith. This storm is just combining into one big cell, and this is going to be your big area. We still got strong winds up to 75 miles per hour along this leaning edge. That's just shooting right towards Fort Smith. It's just along that core. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna look at the cameras real quick. See what's going on. Not seeing anything right now. So this will be pushing through soon. I think this just released a gust front. Yeah, just released a gust front, probably 45 miles an hour ahead of that. But it's actually bowing. I don't know if y'all can notice, but the whole thing is just bowing out. Mainly just wind-wise, and this is going to be your area's strongest winds. That's about to hammer Fort Smith, Van Buren, Rena, Alma. So this is going to include interstates. This is going to be Highway 59 South, State Highway 59. This is going to be for Interstate 540, Interstate 40, State Highway 59, North South Van Buren, US 64, US 71, and Interstate 49 as well. So these areas do need to watch for extreme wind. So if you live towards the Lavaca area, Barling, so Fort Smith, Barling, Lavaca, Kibler, Central City, out in these areas, we need to watch this very closely for more structural and tree damage. If you have any comments, please post them below. We're gonna keep an eye on this and try to keep up with the social media pages as well. I'm watching this gust front right here that was just released out of it. So now we're gonna watch for more development on that gust front, which will be moving towards the Greenwood area as well. So that's definitely something I have to keep my eye on. Watching this area up near Mulberry and Ozark on Interstate 40 and US 64. There's just more storms developing along that area. Watching for up to 70 miles an hour winds, going to be pushing through the Fort Smith area soon. So I'm watching for more winds actually going to push towards Hacking, Greenwood as well. I'm going to have to keep my eye on that location as well. And locations out there as well. So I'm going to watch this kind of line push through now. So this is going to be your leaning edge. So this is small bow. This is the only thing we're going to have to worry about this morning. And then we got the storms coming through the afternoon. I have to watch as well. So this actually may knock down some of the energy needed for the storms this afternoon. So this could be a good thing, though it may not, since it's actually not that small. So Greenwood. So if this does actually happen, So, say Greenwood South, we're still going to be seeing a bunch of storms in this area. And then, like Fayetteville up in that area, could be seeing storms. So, if no rain happens here and this is actually what happens, this knocks down the energy needed for more storms later. And it's going to be a good thing for Fort Smith area. But with the heavy rain right now, no. But if nothing happens, no damage or anything occurs, then it will be a good thing. I'm surprised we're still reporting 81 in Mena right now. That's really crazy. They're still reporting 75 Fort Smith. So this area will definitely need to keep an eye on conditions over the next few hours. So this is actually about to push through Fort Smith. The winds on this are showing on the leaning edge of this up to about 55 miles an hour now. So they're calming down, but there's still embedded areas of rain for up to 70 to 75 miles per hour winds. So I'm going to keep an eye on this area moving towards Fort Smith. I'm going to go live on our Facebook page real quick and let everyone know what is going on. All right, good morning. It is currently 2:20 a.m. Central Daylight Time right now. We're watching severe storms going to be pushed through the Fort Smith area soon. They should be issuing another warning soon. So I got to watch that. And this just has released a boundary as well. So now we're going to watch for an actual line, very small line developing, which will affect mainly Fort Smith area. So Fort Smith's the target zone for the strongest wind I'm seeing right now. I'm watching this area down here, just to the east of Panama, showing winds up to about 60 miles an hour as well. But mainly Fort Smith is about to be the prime target zone for this. And it looks like I think they are issuing another warning right now. This is going to be for Sebastian and Crawford, Franklin counties. So if you live in these areas, you do need to take shelter right now. For mainly not tornado-wise, but since we've had unsaturated soil lately, the winds can just come, or it's going to come knock over these trees really easily, especially in the flooded zone area near Fort Smith. So this is about to push right through Fort Smith. Let's see. I'm looking at this tower camera right here. I'm just waiting for the winds to see what it's going to look like inside this storm. So it's pushing through South Fort Smith right now, out near Riley Farms. There's a very strong core winds, up to about 70 miles an hour. So 70 miles an hour winds, quarter-size hail. So you do need to be in a safe place right now as this storm blows through. This is going to be targeting South Fort Smith, Barling, Lavaca, Fort Smith, Kibler, Van Buren, Alma, Mulberry. Mainly not too much in the way of Greenwood, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this area right here to make sure I'm not seeing anything of a tornado risk. I'm mainly seeing a very heavy rain and a very damaging wind threat right now. So this is Viper right now. So the storm is pushing through the Fort Smith area soon. I'm just switching back to cameras. You can actually see there's the cloud. There's the shelf cloud right there. So there's the leaning edge of that storm system. That's about to be pushing right down 64 over the Garrison Bridge through downtown The winds is still near Fort Coffee, embedded in this rain, but it's up to 60 to 65. Some areas actually showing 75 miles per hour. That's going to be pushing right through Phoenix Avenue. Here, so let's get down where this is going to be. So here's 540. Here's 71. Here's 270. Here's 271. This is going to be Townsend. Here's Arcoma. This is Main Street. This is going to be Phoenix. So here's going to be exit 10 right here. So this is going to be Southside High School right here. This is going to be exit 11, exit 12. Here's exit 8. This is Rogers right here. And then you got Cliff Drive. So this is where the tornado was the other weekend. And this is actually coming over the exact same area. So this is going to be tracking right over the airport. It's going to be tracking through southern parts of Barling, and it's going to go right through Lavaca. So near 22, up near 255. So do need to be cautious, as this is actually starting to make kind of a downward trend. So I wouldn't be surprised if Greenwood got clipped into this, but it's not likely that y'all will see any of the strongest winds. You may see a little bit of wind and rain, but you're not going to see the strongest winds, as South Fort Smith, Barling, and Lavaca is going to be seeing this. Charleston will be seeing this soon. I need to put a storm track on this. That's kind of more down towards 265 or 270. So we're going to put this in a west direction. That's mainly where it's been going. So definitely need to keep an eye on this thunderstorm. Winds in this are showing 70 miles per hour easily with this. So if you live in Arcoma, if you live down here near Rye Hill, near Riley Farms, Riley Farms, Rye Hill, prepare for up to 70 miles an hour winds, probably some tree damage as well. I'm actually looking at this, so the station's over here, and then it's going to be going through State Highway 96, 22s, and then it's going to be going through Barling as well, State Highway 59. So I'm going to try and let as many people know as possible what is going on. We're doing our live stream on our YouTube channel as well. So here's the ICAM right now. This is Fort Smith ICAM. Very, very strong winds out there, actually. Good grief. That's crazy. So here's the roads that are still closed. Let's go back to radar. So we got those very strong winds pushing through Fort Smith right now. So 75 miles per hour winds. It's kind of interesting to see where this actually is moving right now. It's kind of moving in a southeast direction. So I'm kind of watching Greenwood area for sure, because it's kind of making a southeast direction as well. So North Greenwood. It's showing up 65 miles per hour winds. So this is starting to blow. So this is blowing through the Fort Smith area right now. Blowing through South Fort Smith, around 60 to 65 miles per hour winds. So I'm going to check back on that ICAM, even though it's probably blowing around like crazy. It's not too bad. It's mainly just rain now. Very, very heavy rain. Probably cause some more localized flash flooding. Watching this core wind's going to be moving right through Fort Smith, Lavaca, Barling, Central City. So I'm going to get off here on our Facebook Live. You can go over, I posted the link to our YouTube Live. I'm going to be warning as many people as possible. Stick with us. We're covering severe weather live. Okay. So, I'm watching this blow through right now. The winds are pretty strong on this. This is moving towards Hack as well. So Hackett's going to be clipped by this. I'm watching where the direction of this heavy rain goes as well, and it's just booking it. It's kind of moving in a east. It's just moving in an east direction right now. So Greenwood may get clipped a little bit. This has a very well defined bow right now. Power's starting to flicker a little bit. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this for sure. So this is blowing right through. So we're keeping up our coverage right now. Most of y'all are probably not awake, but you kind of need to be, because this is a dangerous situation. Since there is saturated soil, these trees can just come flowing right through. That's what I'm mainly worried about right now. And it's bedded in this rain well, so it's not. And this is stretching out, so Greenwood area is gonna see this storm action as well. And actually, this has a pretty well defined boundary. This is released, so I'm definitely going to be watching for a shelf cloud soon. See if I can get some pictures. If you have any pictures to send us, please do it on our Facebook page. Just post them on my timeline, and I'll be posting those soon. I'm going to be keeping a watch for the next little bit as well. So this is moving through Hackett now. So it's not as defined as earlier, but it's getting close to the radar beam. So very heavy rain moving through Fort Smith. Very strong winds as well. So this has strong winds as well. So 60 miles an hour winds pushing right through. So here's your actual line. The line is actually, some of the parts of this line showing up to like 40, 50 miles an hour winds. So I'm going to see if I can actually get some pictures out here or get a live shot real quick. Okay. Alright. So I'm keeping an eye on radar for this coral winds that'll be moving through Lavaca soon. So this is kind of making a southward trend a little bit. It's mainly just an eastward trend. And then you got this boundary. So I'm going to try to get some measurements, some data recorded on this, what's going on. So if you live in Barling, in this area, if you live in Barling, Central City, Lavaca, be in a safe spot right now as the storm is about to blow through. Some very strong winds, up to 70 miles an hour winds possible. If you're in Fort Smith, stay in your shelter until the storm has passed. definitely keep an eye on this. Yeah, that's the core winds I'm keeping an eye on. Alright, so let's get back on radar. So if you live in Fort Smith right now, you're probably seeing some very, very, very heavy rain. Very strong winds as well. This is actually trying to move along the line. So this is forming on a line now. But the target zone was Fort Smith. This is becoming crazy with the weather. To Fort Smith has been the target zone for some extreme weather for the last few weeks now. So this is the last thing we need is some very, very strong winds to be blowing down more trees in the Fort Smith area. With some very strong winds as well. Yeah, look at this. Look at this wind boundary that this thing has produced. It's a massive wind boundary. Look at this, up to 40, 45. So this one's showing about 50. They'll be about to push right through Lavaca. So this one's just about to blow right through Greenwood, Lavaca. So I'm gonna try to do my best to not get hurt, but get a clip of what is about to come. And try not to wake up our dogs. So we're showing here about to push through Greenwood as well. The winds there are showing up to 37 miles an hour right now. So it's going to be pushing through so it's now moving through. So now let's just screen split. Let's see. Heads up. See what's going on. Wow. It's crazy. So, am watching for it. So if you do live in Lavaca, Greenwood, so Fort Smith, you should be south side town. Still wait. There's still about 65 miles an hour winds pushing through. Greenwood, you got about 50 miles an hour winds going to be pushing through. Same for Lavaca. It's possibly just going to be pushing right through Fort Chaffee. Charleston's going to get this. Chisholmville, Boonville, Washburn, Mansfield. So this is mainly just turned into a small line. Hail-wise, I'm not showing too much on the way of hail. This is mainly just turning into a damaging wind threat, which I'm not surprised. And then we're going to watch as the day unfolds as well. So that is a very set some stuff up as we're watching the storm blow through. So Barling's now getting the leaning edge of this. So now it's just a bunch of wind and rain. I'm watching Fort Smith out here near Townsend. These areas for sure for flooding potential. If you have any flooding reports or anything, please send us in. Post them to our timeline here on Facebook of River Valley Weather, and we will let the public know what's going on. Looks like the temperature has went down. Looks like they got a 39 miles an hour wind gust at the airport so far since 2:35. So in 6 minutes, they've received 0.16 inches of rain, which is crazy. And the temperature has dropped to 66 degrees. So about to watch this storm blow right through. Alright, so we're continuing to watch this. You can hear it pushing all the way from Greenwood. You can see where the edge of the shelf cloud is. So again, if you do live in Lavaca, Barling, you live mainly in Lavaca, Greenwood, just be sure to watch for the strong, damaging winds about to push through, and then the heavy rain as well. Okay, so this is about to push through Greenwood. It's pushing through Central City right now. Well, the winds are going to be up to about 40 miles an hour here in the Greenwood area. So don't be surprised to wake up to some wind, probably maybe the power flickering a little bit. Don't worry. It's about to push through Lavaca as well. There's going to be a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, so you can see where the edge of the shell patch is pushing right through. So this is pushing through Greenwood as well. Winds are going to be up to about 45 miles an hour. Definitely watching the strong winds push through here. I'm watching this one, so as it's pushing through Lavaca right now. Waiting for an update. So this should be pushing right. So the line should be right here pushing through Lavaca. The winds probably are going to be up to about 45, 50 miles per hour mark. Okay. So this is where Lavaca, this is pushing through right now. The winds are up to 50 miles an hour. The Greenwood, this just pushed through as well. Looks like another wraparound core winds is going to hit as well. This one up to about 55 miles an hour. So this one showing from earlier. This is the core winds. We've got some very heavy rain pushing through as well. So we're going to watch the flooding potential. This is just moving right along the Arkansas River. So very great flooding risk. If you're in Fort Smith and you're in shelter right now, you can come out now. Everything is fine in the east side of Fort Smith. Now we're just going to be watching this push through Mulberry, Mountainburg, Charleston, Washburn, Hartford. So this is right now entering Hackett. It's very heavy rain, so you're probably hearing a lot of lightning, thunder as this line is pushing through. This does have a wind boundary on it. So the strongest winds are going to be located near Lavaca. In this area, we're watching another core wind's going to be pushing right through Greenwood as well, and along another part in northern Lavaca, along with the rain core. So it's going to be pretty interesting to watch. So there is about 30 to 35 miles per hour winds blowing throughout the station right here, right now. So another core of around 55 going to be blowing through Fort Chaffee as well. So if you live out here near Highway 23, well, that's going to be way out here. So that's going to be a little bit ways before it gets there. So near Cecil, about 55 to 60 miles per hour winds headed right towards y'all. Charleston, you got the leaning edge is about to hit y'all in the next few minutes, along with Washburn. This is moving down Highway 71 as well towards Mansfield. So we're keeping an eye on this for y'all. Let's put this as a 2-panel. Okay, so this warning's gonna be until 3 a.m. And as you can see, green was not in this, but we're still having the effect of this line. It looks like we got some storm damage. Looks like we've got reports. A measured 61 miles per hour wind gust here at the airport, at the regional airport. Wow, that's crazy. And then that another core is about to be pushing through here as well. And that's probably what I hear right now. That crack that just came through. That's probably what I just heard. Yeah, there goes a limb. So there is limbs starting to rip from these trees, actually. So basically, a tropical storm feel for. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So it's probably going to include most of Franklin County right now. Probably southern tip of Sebastian. Oh no, this is just going to include Franklin and Madison and parts of Washington. So as you can see, there's little kinks of core winds on the leading edge of the storms, up near 65 miles per hour. I'm going to look for rotation to make sure there's nothing occurring, because I know that is possible along the leading edges. And this one's showing a little bit, so near Dyer, this one's showing a little bit of rotation, but isn't producing anything for sure. The rotation notch is not even that much right now. So it's nothing to worry about, but you do need to be cautious because some of these kinks can have core winds up to 65 to 70 miles an hour, which can cause a little bit of damage, like a brief tornado, even though it's not touching the ground. So we're going to watch for some of these kinks on the ground as well, watching some of the core winds, 60 to 65 miles per hour, as it is pushing through. So it's about to be pushing through Washburn as well. Now this area should be under a significant weather advisory, if not right now. I can check the NWS site, the warnings map. Alright, so that's not under. So So we had 60 miles an hour winds pushed through the airport, so measure 61. So we were accurate on that point, watching for the possible damaging winds coming through the south side of Fort Smith. We're hoping that was the only thing. There was no tree damage or anything, but we're going to keep, if you do have any damage reports, you can send those, post to our timeline of what's going on. As we're watching these storms push through. So that second core winds just pushed right through. And the wind, it's mainly just going to be the rain right now. So now we can watch what's going on with this. So there's a little bit of cores, about 50 miles per hour possible. But I'm watching these areas for possible kinks. They're showing possible, there are a little bit of kinks in the radar, but they're rotation wise, they're not that strong. So not too worried about it, but I would just for safety precautions just watch trees or get to a safe point, make sure those trees are holding up right now. Rain, you hear the rain starting to fall now. So this is the radar loop right now. As storms are pushing through the area, so heavy rain's now entering Lavaca. So it looks like the winds have caught up ahead of this front. So now, if you want to observe the winds, there won't be heavy rains. For the people that don't listen to the warnings, but like to stand from the winds, like me, like I'm one of those people, I don't recommend it. I highly recommend only trained professional storm spotters that have the anemometers. It won't be rain. It's going to be first the wind, then the rain. So for measuring, reporting only. So this line is actually breaking up a lot, which is a really good thing but I'm just watching right now for strong winds. What is the strong winds doing? But right now, it's mainly just posing as a rain threat. A little bit of rain and wind. So the warning should be canceled soon. But, well, they can cancel it down to only include just Crawford. Right now, in Mulberry, so if you live just south of Mulberry or in Mulberry, there's some strong winds pushing through. I'm watching about 65 miles per hour winds going to be pushing through Ozark soon. So that's actually just northwest of Cecil, southeast of Mulberry. Going to be crossing 64 and 40. So I'm just watching right now these two core winds near Mulberry. As they have very strong, and those are the ones that have the strongest winds right now. Looks like so the leaning edge is moving over Charleston. The winds on this leaning edge are averaging about 40 to 45 miles per hour, so it's not too intense, to be honest. It's actually not that strong. So, and this may just wipe out a little bit of the atmosphere. So, to maybe help with the storms today, I gotta watch, make sure that's what's happening as well, or hoping that's what's happening. So, this is, if we can go back to one panel. So now we're watching for a training effect, which means that multiple rounds of thunder, multiple storm rounds are pushing over the same place, same place, causing possible flooding right over Fort Smith, over Sebastian County. So that's something we're gonna watch here in Lavaca. So if you live in Greenwood, Lavaca, Barling, South Fort Smith, watch for possible potential flooding, especially here in the Lavaca area where we were out near 255 out here on the east side of Lavaca where there's flooding near River Road, Highway 96, Highway 255. We gotta watch these areas for sure for more flooding and possible road closures. Please post on our timeline on River Valley Weather or Facebook page if you have any storm damage, or any storm pictures, or any reports or anything. So I'm still watching this boundary going to be moving through Boonville soon. So we can go. I'm gonna go check our station. Wind gust top. So right now the storms seem to be moving out, but the main threats right now are looking just to be heavy rain. There is going to be a little bit of wind on some of these storms, especially near Cecil Mulberry, where it's about to cross, where there's about 60 miles per hour winds. That looks to be the only cell I'm watching that's moving towards Ozark, so it's going to be crossing the Pig Trail soon, Highway 23. Just going to be just probably going to hit. It's going to hit Ozark just south of Cass. It's moving towards Yale and Salis, so in Johnson County. And if it holds up, this line seems to be moving to the southeast as well. So it's going to be affecting Waldron, Boonville Magazine, Mount Magazine, Chisholmville, Driggs, Paris, Subiaco. I'm watching Russellville. It may not affect Russellville, but it'll have. But if it does, it has a long ways to go. It has a few hours. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Near Chisholmville, we're showing winds up to about 55 miles per hour. And as it's going through Branch, the winds are near 55 miles an hour. Then we'll go through Coxville soon. It's about to go through Boonville. It's still in Washburn, actually. So still near Lake or Jackman Lake, so it's still ways. Actually, well, it's crossing the county line right now. Only 40 miles an hour wind. So we're starting to hear the heavy rain now. But this whole line is starting to move out. It's starting to weaken as well, so we should be allowed to go off the air right now. So this seems to wrap it up. If you do live in Logan County, Yell County, Scott County, Johnson County, Pope County, for the next few hours, be sure to watch this event. Winds up to between 20 to 40 miles per hour possible, and a little bit of rain as well. Mainly the rain is focusing up here near Franklin County, near Ozark, and the strongest winds is in front, bowing out near Ozark with up to 60 miles per hour winds. So that looks to be the only core, so we can sign off here. I'm Austin Daigle from the River Valley Weather Team. Have a safe night, everyone, and if you have any storm damage pictures, any reports, flood reports, anything, post that to our timeline on our Facebook page at River Valley Weather. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good night.